tell us your name?
My name is Abia.
Okay. Okay, so could you tell us what really transpired?
Well, you know, we've been on for some time. The election petition has decided. The time for trial, the time for address, the time for judgment. Today we conclude trial and addresses. The tribunal has adjourned to the 6th of October.
The law itself is a news.
Well, you know, this election petition particularly is limited to two issues. The first has to do with the case that not properly linked APC and they also claim, despite coming for the election, that it's not the government but themselves that should have been withdrawn as being of the nature of the government. So this is the narrow issues that we have now. We are optimistic that the outcome is going to justify the confidence in the tribunal. So we keep our fingers crossed. I think at our own level we have done our best. The rest is left for the lordship and the lordship to guide it.
Please, your full name, sir.
Abia will be
Okay, in a layman language, could you explain what really transpired at the court this afternoon?
Well, today is the final adoption of final written addresses of the parties. So essentially the matter has come to a close and the matter has been adjourned for judgment. What happened today is that respective parties have adopted their final written addresses. And of course the issue we placed before the tribunal today is the issue of non-membership of OT as a member of Labour Party. Of course, the Constitution in Section 177C requires for a person to be qualified to contest for the office of the governor to be a member of the political party. Of course, we place evidence before the tribunal showing that Alex Oates is a member of APC. In fact, the parties agree on that. They contested our primary election. We tendered documents to show that he's a member of APC. In fact, we tendered the register of members of APC. Of course, that should take the burden on them to show there is a member of Labour Party. And of course, there was nothing coming from them. In fact, their witness admitted that before you can be a member of a political party, that your name, especially Labour Party, your name must be in the register of members of Labour Party. That register of members, which purportedly has the name of Oates, was not placed before the tribunal. So there is no evidence whatsoever proceeding from the respondents to show that Oates is a member of the Labour Party at the time he contested the election. In fact, they purported to have granted him waiver. Now the evidence is that they conducted the primary election of the Labour Party on the 1st of June 2022, and they purported to have granted Oates waiver on the 2nd of June. So after the primary election had been concluded, and they purported to have granted him waiver on the 2nd of June to contest the primary election that took place on the 1st. Totally, you see that there's nothing proceeding whatsoever from the respondents to challenge the case which we brought before the petition. Of course, the case is that if Odi is disqualified, then of course all the votes purportedly gathered by him are wasted votes. That is the law. So if they are wasted votes, of course, they cannot continue to be the governor of Abia State. And of course, we should remember that there is a judgment of the Federal High Court, Kano, which says that if you fail to submit the register of members to INEC, as they did in Abia State, then automatically that all the candidates of Labour Party stand disqualified, including Governor. And that is the position of the people. So
now your candidate didn't come second. So if all the votes that were not
that's why we also, because we're also making the case with respect to the 5th and the 7th respondents. And of course, we've joined them in this matter because they ought to be heard. And the Constitution says you have to grant fair hearings. The Constitution is the supreme law. Irrespective of the provision of the Electoral Act, the Constitution says if you're making an allegation against the person, you have to join him in the matter to hear from him. And that's why we've joined the 5th respondent and the 7th respondent. We also shown, we demonstrated before the tribunal that they were also not qualified. That is the 5th respondent, who is the purported candidate of the PDP, who was the chief of staff to government house. Do you understand? And we've shown that he did not resign from that position 30 days before the election, which also applies to the Nana, that is the 7th respondent, who clearly, from the evidence which we placed for the tribunal, is a member of PDP. In fact, SBT 14, which is Register of Members in Isialamba, so in Usisioma, has the name of the 7th respondent. Do you understand? To show that he was never a member of YPP. He was never a member of the YPP.
So how will your party benefit from this judgment?
No, of course, my party.
Given the fact that you didn't even win any local government, you didn't get a 25% score, how will you benefit?
That is not true. That is not correct.
Did you win any local government?
Yes, the party won local government. But beyond that point, the point being made is that once the 3rd, 5th, and 7th respondents start disqualified, that the votes purportedly garnered by them become wasted votes, then you will see that it is the first petitioner, High Chief Ikechi Menike, that has scored the majority of lawful votes. Lawful valid votes. And of course, we've demonstrated that with the votes he garnered, he's scored the requisite number of votes in the number of the local governments in Abia State, and the only option before the tribunal will be to declare him as elected.
Thank you. Your name again?
Your name is Tochkumar.
Thank you.
In the layman language, what really transparent in the court?
Well, consistent with due process, having concluded the evidence, witnesses, and documents, the time is provided for lawyers for the parties to add on bread and speak to the documents and emphasize important areas. And that's what we've done today. It's called adoption of written address. We have adopted our address, and we have shown clearly that the petition has no valid case against the 5th and the 4th respondents, which are PDP and Chifoke Ambrosai. Even though we agree that the petitioners proved their case against the 2nd and the 3rd, which are Labour Party and Conservative. But they only raised the issue of resignation, and they failed to understand that earlier than now, in Lodge and George and because what he has said, that the chief of staff of the government is not a public servant. It's not a public service. So the issue of adding his resignation of our right, even at that, we resigned in 52 days to the time. So we complied with the law, and they tried to smuggle the issue of deputy governor. And that has been settled now to the public opinion as a Thursday. And the deputy governor resigned. UNN, Minister of Nigeria, Suka, acknowledged and confirmed the effective date of the petition on the 1st of February. So we are home and dry. We look forward to our own petition on Thursday, when we will tell the tribunal what we think should happen.
Okay, your name, Professor
Paul and Anna Vice.